Welcome to our series about the basic level speeches in Junior Speakers League. Giving a great speech is not about standing up, holding a piece of paper and reading from it. It's about being visually interesting as you connect with your audience to teach, inspire, or entertain them. The basic level speeches are going to take you step by step towards that goal. You'll be giving 6 speeches in the basic level, and we've made it really easy by providing you with an explanation of the goal, timing, and other requirements for each speech. Plus, you'll have a worksheet for each speech to help you meet that speech's goal. Basic level speeches are 3 to 5 minutes. That means that you should speak for at least 3 minutes, and that by 5 minutes, you need to be finishing it up. You only have 30 seconds more after the 5-minute signal is raised to end your speech. And what happens if you don't reach 3 minutes, or if you speak longer than 5.5 minutes? Well, then you're not considered eligible to receive votes for Best Speaker if your club does voting. Eligible means that you have met the timing guidelines for the speech. Speaking within time guidelines is important for having well-run meetings that aren't too short or too long. As I mentioned in the welcome video, the basic level is about learning a new skill in each speech that you can add to the skills you'll learn in future speeches. It's not like you learn a skill, then stop using it while learning the next skill. No, once you learn a skill, you'll use that skill in pretty much every speech going forward. So what are these skills? Well, the first we'll focus on is eye contact. Looking at the audience while they're looking at you is eye contact. You won't have good eye contact if you're looking around or reading something or looking up at the ceiling or over people's heads, or for online meetings. Poor eye contact usually is caused by looking at a different computer screen off to the side where you see the audience and not at the camera lens where the audience is looking at you. Another cause of bad eye contact in online meetings comes from your eyes just not even being visible on the screen. For in-person meetings, eye contact means looking around the group at the faces of the individuals in your audience. For online meetings, eye contact means looking mostly at your camera lens. Physically centering your camera with the audience on your screen makes this a lot easier to do. But regardless of whether you're in person or online, the worst eye contact problems come from reading your speech word for word. When someone has to look at their notes a lot or read from them, we say they're reliant on their notes. The first speech in the basic level is the All About Me speech. The goal of this speech is to have good eye contact while you share information about yourself so the audience gets to know you better. You already know a lot about this topic. When you know a lot about the topic of a speech, we call that having topic knowledge. When you plan to give a speech, you want to learn enough about the topic to have good topic knowledge. So just a word or two on your worksheet will remind you what you want to mention about the topic next. Let's talk about your worksheets. In the basic level, you're not allowed to write out a speech word for word to read from. Instead, you'll only use your worksheet to speak from. Let me repeat that. You'll only speak from the words you write on your actual paper worksheet. Let's take a look together at the worksheet for the All About Me speech. There's a blank worksheet for the speech in your handbook and also a sample one that's been filled out to give you an idea of what a filled out worksheet might look like. The worksheets for the speeches in the basic level are all pretty similar, with questions and areas where you can write words or short phrases to remind you what you want to talk about. Use a pencil in case you want to make changes. Don't write out word for word something like, "I was born on a snowy night in Buffalo, New York. The doctor was late, and my mom said he seemed half asleep." Just write down a few keywords to remind you of the story of your birth, like Buffalo, snowy night, sleepy doctor. Then simply use these words and phrases as reminder cues about what you want to talk about. With these various question and answer areas on the worksheet to talk about, you only need to speak for about 30 seconds per section to easily meet your time goal. Let's talk about how to launch your speech. Don't start off by telling us your name and your type of speech, because the MC will have already just said something like, our next speaker is Julia. She's a basic level speaker doing her All About Me speech. It's a 3 to 5 minute speech and will be evaluated by price. Please help me welcome Julia. Just start your speech off with something that captures the audience's attention and makes us eager to hear what's coming next. For example, instead of, hi, I'm Julia, and today I'll be giving my All About Me speech, start off with something more like, the night I was born, there was a terrible blizzard. That will get the audience paying attention right away. So remember, don't mention the type of speech you're giving. Just dive right in. Also, when it comes to the worksheets, don't announce the questions on the worksheets as part of your speech. They're just there to give you an idea of what the audience might want to know and to give you a logical order of what to talk about and when. So if the first part of your speech launches it, the last section called closing comments on your worksheet is sort of the landing of your speech. And you want it to be smooth and soft, not a crash landing. A crash landing would be something like, okay, I'm done, or that's it, or just walking away from the lectern, or if you're online, sitting down quickly and muting yourself. Now, you do want to land the speech with something that lets the group know that your speech is over and that it's time for them to clap. It can work well to say something related to the topic of your speech, like, I've been enjoying learning about all of you during your speeches, and now you know something about me. And same with launching your speech. Don't land the speech mentioning the type of speech you gave, like, thank you for listening to my All About Me speech. Now, it's fine if you say thank you, though even that's not necessary. Really, it's the audience who should thank you with their applause. Lastly, once your speech is finished, you should specifically transfer the meeting back to the MC by saying simply, Mr. MC, or Madam MC, or just the MC's name. As I mentioned, you'll only speak from the actual piece of paper worksheet while you're in the basic level. And one of our hard and fast rules in any of our clubs at any level is that you never hold 8.5 by 11 paper that you have to read from.
When would it be okay to carry 8.5 by 11s that are not visual aids? Never. Just so we're clear.
Just place your worksheet flat on your lectern or on something in front of you if you're online and glance at it as needed. You want to keep your hands free for gestures like hand and arm movements, which we'll learn more about in the next video. It's important that I mention that we're not expecting you to memorize your speech. Doing that can sometimes sound as unnatural as reading a speech, particularly if you lose your place. We're also not expecting you to sound perfect or get every word just right. We just want to see you being as comfortable, confident, and conversational as you can, like you're telling or explaining this information in your speech to a friend. When it comes to giving a good speech, preparation and practice are really the keys to success. In JSL, we have what we call the rule of 3, and that means that you should have your worksheet completely filled out at least 3 days before the meeting, and then practice your speech out loud in the days before the meeting enough times with a timer that you can meet the time goal of the speech 3 times in a row and you like how your speech is sounding. Obviously, you can practice even more and start earlier, but the rule of 3 should be your minimum system. It can also be helpful to make videos of your practice speeches to let you notice where you can improve. And if you'd like to get a head start on some of the other skills that are learned in future speeches, you are absolutely welcome to watch some of the other videos in this series. There's absolutely no reason you can't also use gestures and vocal variety and visual aids in the All About Me speech. In many clubs, the club chairperson will video record the speeches, in which case you'll probably receive an email with the video link and be asked to fill out a self-evaluation form for your speech. Be sure to watch your video while filling out your self-evaluation. I personally think this is the most important part of the speech process because your actual speech delivery will always look different to you than how it felt in your head. Watching yourself might not be comfortable for you, but it's the best way to see how you look to your audience so that you can make adjustments for the next speech. Once you turn your self-evaluation in, your club chairperson will give you the evaluation of your speech that he or she made. Be sure to ask if you have any questions about the evaluation you receive. Well, that wraps up this video about the All About Me speech. We're so glad you joined the club, and we can't wait to learn more about you.